deliveries and hot meal programs are made possible with your support. Your donation, big or small, is a lifeline for those in dire need. Help Gaza survive. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
Join us for the grand opening of Durban India Shopping Festival, 27th September, with entertainment by Versatile and Vande Mataram Dance Academy. Get all your Diwali shopping done in one place for the whole family. Monday to Thursday, free entry. Friday to Sunday and public holidays, only 20 Rand per person. Don't miss the biggest shopping experience, the biggest fireworks display, and the biggest car giveaway, happening only at Old Durban Drive-In. Durban India Shopping Festival. We bring India to you.
Ladies, get ready to bedazzle. Join us October 30th, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. for a high tea live broadcast at the Al Ansar Conference Center. Celebrating 5 years of Urban Women with me, Razia Rangwage. 100 Rand gets you fun, goodie bags, giveaways, cook-offs, chance to win a TV. And what's a celebration without cake? Grab your tickets at the Al Ansar shop now.
Radio Al Ansar, Durban, 90.4 FM. Peter Maritzburg, 105.6 FM.
ماشي وسط الطريق ما عارف رايح وين قلبي يموت تناخ وحيرة ما رايد عني تسوق يخاف قلبي يكون يا ربي ناجي شوفني الحكاية
11 minutes after 9 o'clock. To appreciate where we are now, we must know and appreciate where we've come from. Lawn Street, Leopold Street, Prince Edward Street, Fountain Lane, Cross Street, Albert Street, Wolds Road, Queen Street, Short Street, Cathedral Road, etc., etc. What was so different about each street in the Casbah? Yet as a collective, we were all so cohesive and interwoven in so many ways. Why? How? Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another walk through the Casbah, Durban's heartbeat of heritage. You with me, buddy Govender and brother
Faizal MJ Suleman. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin wal aqibatu lil muttaqin. Wassalatu wassalam ala rasulihil kareem Sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord, cherisher, nourisher, sustainer, and master of the universe, the most gracious, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Ya Allah, it is only you that we worship and is your guidance that we seek. Ya Allah, keep us on the straight path. Ya Allah, shower us with the choice of blessings. Ya Allah, shower us with your mercy. Ya Allah, guide us. Greetings, salam, salutations on our beloved Nabi Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Buddy, you mentioned something that you spoke about the heritage and what we've learned, where we came from, where we're going to. I think our topic for tonight is going to be excellent.
Oh,
inshallah.
yes, absolutely. Alhamdulillah. Tonight we have another blockbuster of a show that inshallah will bring tears, smiles, and laughter to all of you out there that know and have experienced life in the Casbah and surrounds. Welcome to all of you tonight that are listening. And we know a lot of people are listening tonight, Faizal, lots of people. And we welcome all of you tonight on this lovely night. We're going to be talking about the Casbah, the streets, the roads, people, places. What makes this place special isn't just the buildings or the street names. It's the way each road was known for its personality and vibe. Grey Street got that electric energy. Beater Street brings that laid-back soul like Carlisle Street does. Prince Edward Street, steeped in tradition. Queen Street, man, she's got flair. Different vibes, different people. I was
waiting for Victoria Street.
Yeah,
because I think that's a mixture of everything.
Yeah, Faisal, somehow all different vibes, but somehow it all fits like a family with many voices, but with one story.
Absolutely.
The magic of the Casbah, as diverse as it is, yes, we are still all deeply connected. So this evening, we're tuning into those differences, tracing the threads that bring them together, celebrating the spirits that make this precinct more than just a place. It is our home. The numbers to WhatsApp us says Faizal.
060-904-1056. Yes, 060-904-1056. You can call us.
Yep.
0861-904-904. That's 0861-904-904. Let those WhatsApps roll.
Yep. Now, indeed, remember, this is an interactive show, so we want to hear from you. We want you to not just sit back and listen, but if you want to hear, you're more than welcome, because we know a lot of you out there sit back and listen. Messages are coming in. I must tell you, Faizal, my Facebook page, we've got 21 comments already.
Excellent.
On tonight's show, and we're going to actually be talking about that. But we're talking about the streets, Faizal, because I don't know if you ever thought about it. When this topic came to me, and inshallah, I sit back on a Friday or Thursday night and I allow it to come to me. I don't know the topic, and I allow it to come to me, and it works.
Yes, definitely.
It really works. And I thought to myself, each street in the Casbah was unique.
Absolutely,
you can't say Prince Edward Street was like Victoria Street.
Nope.
Queen Street was never like Lawn Street. But we were one.
Absolutely.
Like I said, a family with many voices, but with one story.
In fact, whenever we all got together, we were, as you say, like one big family.
Indeed.
It was never that you from a different street, I'm from a different street. You guys got a different style about you all. We've got a different style about us. But you notice, as you say, each street was absolutely unique. Yeah. And I think, buddy, the WhatsApp messages are pouring in.
Yep.
I think, let me just read the first message that's come through.
Go ahead.
It comes from Arshad Khan from Kalal Street. Assalamu alaikum. Mashallah program as always. I guess it was the fact that we were all from different streets and vibes, but had family and friends from other streets with their vibes forming one cohesive community mixed in with the daily townies. Worked but didn't live in town. Another show. A special dua to my aunt Aisha Rendry's Tobacco, formerly of Prince Edward Street. JC Mansions, may Allah SWT grant complete shifa with afia. Ameen. Also, special shout out to my other aunts and uncles who were part of the history of town. Take care. Have a mashallah weekend. Catch up on the airwaves. Salams and duas to all. Arshad Khan, Kalal Street.
And he has the Manchester United logo.
I didn't want to mention that.
Yeah. Another son of the Casbah who doesn't live in South Africa anymore, Dr. Yunus Veig. He says, we were the Leopold Street boys. Everyone had to pass us on the corner, that Springbok Cafe on the corner, to go to the wedding function, free lunches, dinners, or to go to the Beater Street bus stops. Indeed.
And even to get to our school.
Absolutely. Chitra Farrington says Warwick Avenue, Etna Lane, Syringa Avenue. Rani Mudli, she says Beater Street resident, and she loved it. Now, let's just get into some of the streets, Faizal. Let's start with Grey Street, because that is the spine of the Casbah, so to speak. I wrote this morning, and I gave you a copy. I wrote nearly 4 pages or 3 pages of what I felt, and it came through from my soul. I really write straight from my soul what I thought each street was about. So I'd like you to listen in, and we're talking about Grey Street now, and we're going to go into the other streets as well. I said on Grey Street, the call to prayer rose like a thread of incense, soft, steady, sacred. Every morning, it was a ritual. Many of the shop owners themselves along Grey Street would step outside their shop and actually sweep the pavements in front of their shops. And when they were doing that, they will nod a greeting to the tailor shop next door or the shop across the road. The owner would be doing a similar thing. It was a silent exchange of actual respect, a rhythm of respect. Inside, though, the walls held more than shop mirrors. They held stories. Young boys getting their back to school haircuts, old men chatting about which shop sells the best bhajia, and in the corner, a radio giving the news of the day. That was the heartbeat of the Casbah. Faizal, taxis lined up outside Victory Lounge or across the way at Danji's corner.
No, these were not the taxis we see today.
Not the taxis.
Those are those big Valiants
so really,
and the Chevrolet.
Close your eyes sometime and just go with me on this. American fashion shops in well-dressed shop windows. Multicolored sweetmeats on display in the windows of Victory Lounge, Patel's, or Bhagat's. Faizal, we walk past there every morning. And also, faith wasn't confined to buildings. It spilled onto the streets. The Juma Masjid and the Emmanuel Cathedral, their doors were open throughout the day, not just for worshippers, but anybody seeking peace. Life was found in shared meals, in borrowed sugar, in the way the elders greeted the children by our names, Faisal.
They knew you personally.
Grace Street taught us that belief and belonging walked hand in hand. This just wasn't about business. It was about heritage, a place where time slowed and the community moved along. This was the DNA of the Casbah.
Absolutely. Very well written, buddy. Very
So
well.
I hope you felt that.
Yes,
Absolutely.
it encapsulates all the feelings of the area.
Of Grey Street.
Mhm.
So, that was the spine of the Casbah, Faisal. There's no doubt about it. Queen Street, Prince Edward Street, Lawn Street, Victoria Street, Carlisle Street, they were all role players. But Grey Street was the main
That was the
actor.
main street. But the beauty of Grey Street was that, it was like a business hub sort of.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
people from all over Durban came to Grey Street.
Absolutely.
The buses stopped there.
Yep.
And everything. So it was an all-encompassing thing, kind of.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Sister Cheryl Besesabana, she's now also in Australia. And she says Ascot Street and surrounding Greyville area girl she is.
Yes, of course.
She said we were spoiled for fun. Everything was a stone throw away. We didn't have much back then, but our souls were enriched and we made life happen. Something our kids of today will never experience. I think we can all say that, Faisal. We didn't have much back then.
Yes,
but
definitely.
we had everything.
Now, you notice something. This heritage that we're talking about, it has gone all over the world.
Yep.
I mean, the message that you're receiving is from
Yes,
all over the world as well.
Absolutely. Enver Govender, I think it is. He says Lawn Street was the calm street,
Very calm.
wasn't it?
Yes.
It was.
Yes. But there were one or two good footballers that came out of there.
Throughout the Casbah,
Mhm,
cricketers, footballers, table tennis,
Yes.
athletes, gangsters.
You warned me not to speak about
Sharks.
it.
Yeah, no, we're not going to. But
You warned me.
sharks, yeah.
Yes.
But I like what he says there,
Yeah.
because that also now confirms what we're saying, that
Yes.
each street was unique.
Yes.
Lawn Street had that calmness about
Mhm.
it. I'm going to also talk about another street just now that also was a bit
But,
calm as well.
mhm,
But
mhm.
go ahead.
But I see you missed a very important street.
Mm.
And I don't think we ever mentioned it. And the dead center of Durban is in that street. too.
Yeah.
You forgot Brook Street.
Oh, no, I'm going to talk about
You're
that.
going to-
And you know
okay.
what I like?
Yeah.
The word you use.
The dead center.
Why do we say dead center?
The cemetery is there.
Faisal, you spot on. There you go. Spot on, Faisal.
Yep.
Towns were then planned, and I come from a town planning background.
Okay.
Towns were planned. First, the church was built,
Mm-hmm.
okay, in Western societies,
Okay.
or even maybe the masjid.
Okay.
The church was built, and always alongside a church or a mosque,
Yeah.
there was a
A cemetery.
graveyard or cemetery.
Mhm, mhm.
So that was because it was in the dead center of town.
Yeah.
So that's why they say we use this common phrase, dead center of town.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
basically what it is.
Yes.
So we're gonna try and call two brothers.
Okay.
We have two brothers that we're gonna try and call.
Why aren't you trying them, buddy?
We're gonna be calling them.
Why aren't you trying the two brothers? There's a message come from Rashida, and she's Dagi's sister-in-law. she
Oh
says.
yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Sends a poster saying, "I'm not old-fashioned. I just grew up in a time when family enjoyed dinner at the same table.
Yep.
Neighbors were like family.
Yeah.
Kids played outside until dark, and we were grateful for the little we had."
Oh,
I think that also says it beautifully. She also goes to say, "Remember when your house had one TV, one phone, one bathroom, and we all survived?" And
Indeed. You remember
Yeah.
when we just had the radio? There was no TV.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
absolutely.
In fact, I
Thank
was
you.
talking to somebody just during the course of the week,
Mm.
and then we were talking about the different radio programs at the time.
Yes.
I used to all sit down
Yes.
Friday evening, wait for squad
Yes, of
cars, and
course, of
it
course.
was quite amazing.
Absolutely. Well, brother Umar Badsha, now this is really a son of the Casbah.
Mm-hmm,
He comes from that famous family from Wills Road,
mm-hmm.
the Badsha family, and he says, "What about Wills Road?" When I put this post up on my
Yep.
Facebook page,
Yep,
and
yep.
I said, brother Umar, I couldn't name all the roads, but we're going to be chatting about most of them, and Wills Road included, inshallah.
Mhm.
So hopefully he's tuned in because we'll chat about that as well.
Yep.
Sister Renuka Naidu from Johannesburg, she says she's spending time with her two sisters and her neighbor in Johannesburg, but they were from Apsara House. They're now in Johannesburg as well. And they say they like going back to the stories from the 50s. And she posted a photo of there. Sister Halima Bakr says she loves this. Ibrahim Ansur, Mr. Ansur from
Okay,
Carlisle Street,
yes,
the
of course.
Orient High School
Mhm. The famous.
principal. He says, looking forward to the program, buddy. Mr. Ansur, salam alaikum to you, sir. And inshallah, sure you'll, reminisce with us, because you obviously are a son of the Casbah as well.
A WhatsApp message comes through, buddy.
Yes.
It says that it comes from somebody called Muga.
Oh, yes, that's
Okay.
my brother Maga.
Oh, Maga. Okay.
Mahalingam, son Magam.
Okay. Schooling at Methodist, then Sastry, having met my brother Buddy, was Allah's blessings. Coming from the Greenwood Park community, then becoming a friend of brothers from every street in the Casbah. Played football for Victoria lads through Buddy's introduction. Spent lots of time with the late Alvin Pillay from Leopold Street. Peace be with his soul. Still very much in touch with the boys from the Casbah. Thank you, Buddy. A great man.
Oh, man. This guy is such a good guy, Faizal. Maga is, I got no words for him. He's a brother from another mother, without a doubt.
Undoubtedly.
Well, we've got on the line Brother Lights Sayyid. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear Salams Lights. How are you, my brother?
Alhamdulillah.
There you
go. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, we are good. Faizal,
Yes,
we
sir.
have a big name from
I
the
know.
Casbah.
Assalamu alaikum to you.
Buddy, all the big names, small name.
No, Lights, you certainly,
How are you?
Alhamdulillah, all good. All good, lads.
you're certainly one of those brothers from the Casbah that, as you know, I've said it to you a few times, I've always looked at you as an older brother. You've mentored me, guided me in many ways. I respect that, and I certainly appreciate you, Lights. But you are a real son of the Casbah as well. Your family comes from Prince Edward Street. You really one of the Prince Edward Street boys, but you've also moved around. You've changed your base here and there, Victoria Street. Tell us about your experiences about town. We're talking about the differences in streets, and you'll agree with me that Victoria Street wasn't like Prince Edward Street. Prince Edward Street wasn't like Queen Street, but yet we were connected. Tell us your feelings about that one, Lights.
Yeah, but Prince Edward Street was sort of a civilized street compared to Victoria Street. Victoria Street was very rough.
Yeah. Bro, Lights, you're breaking up a little bit. You're not walking around by any chance, eh?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So you were saying, so you're right. Victoria Street was very different from Prince Edward Street. Tell us about Prince Edward Street. What do you think was special or different? Okay, we seem to have a bad line there.
Yeah. I think we might have just reconnect with Lights.
Lights, we'll call you back in a bit because we certainly can't hear you. You're breaking up there. We'll call you back right now. There was Brother Lights Sayed, certainly one of those that we'd love to hear from Faizal because he's probably got a lot to talk about in terms of the Casbah. Let's move to one of the other streets, Faizal. We're going to be talking about, because you were mentioning it, tell us, let's have a look at Victoria Street.
Okay. The most diverse street in the entire Casbah was Victoria Street. The top market on the one end and Cloverdale is at the other end is the kind of soul that made Casbah whole. Okay, movie houses in between,
Yes.
the Victoria Street Library hiding in its cozy place, a quick fix of 7 nuts from Captains of Victory Lounge, get your watch fixed from Woolly in the window next to Danji's, or get your haircut in the shop behind him. Go with your dad to buy the meat from Sarkot's and get a free packet of sliced bologna to eat right there while waiting. Of course, you mentioned Ginger Bangwadas as well.
Yes, yeah.
The American clothing shop across the road next to the Shiraz Arcade, or buy the latest records from the record shop next door. In the passage were the printers that did all the wedding invitations for everybody. Victoria Street was always moving. The market stalls shifted with the seasons, the crowds flowed like a tide, and the stories changed hands with every transaction. But memory held firm. A vendor might sell you bananas today, but tomorrow he'll remind you of your grandfather's stall. A seamstress might hem your jeans, but tell you about the time she stitched liberation banners in secrets. Victoria Street was movement, yes, but it was also memory, a place where the past walked beside the present.
There you go.
And also, we had doctors, we had dentists there. So famous dentists in Victoria Street as well. And then, of course, our famous chip shop was there in Victoria Heights as well. Pravina's. So, it was diverse.
Indeed. We got Brother Lights Sayed back on the line again. Lights, can you hear us a bit better?
Yeah, I can hear you much better.
Much better.
True good.
So tell us about Prince Edward Street. what was different about it? And maybe give us a bit of insight from your point of view. What was life like in Prince Edward Street back then?
Prince Edward Street was a street that was very aloof. It had very classy people in there. If you look at it, like Casbah Arcade, you had all top-notch people there. Then also in Casbah Arcade, you had the Frederick brothers used to come.
That's right.
Your cousin Abdi as well. All the Lani sort of guys used to come to play snookers. You had business people like Osman Demolishers, they stayed. Faizal, you should know in Gina Sport.
Yes.
Then we had Tapi Building, one of the founders of Al Ansar, Jamal, they stayed upstairs there as well too. You had J.B. Patel, the lawyer. You had Dr. Gunam, who had a surgery in Prince Edward Street as well. The Raj Bioscope. You had Salon Lamona, hairdressing salon. Bottom end, you had the grocery shops.
Yes. And lights on the one side.
In that way, it was very, very
towards the railway line.
Market at that time.
Lights.
We never have like what we had in Victoria Street because most of the guys from out of town used to come. They used to go to Victoria Street to the movie house, and they used to do their shopping in Victoria Street as well.
Yes, indeed. Remember the government garage was down the bottom as well. Prince Edward Street at the bottom.
Yeah, we had the government garage in the bottom.
That's right.
And also opposite the government garage, at first we had DC Shave. They used to sell furniture and cut glass.
I'm going to talk about that, in fact. You're right. Absolutely. The paint and all that stuff.
And then the famous Tash company was on the other side.
That's right. Lights, Prince Edward Street itself was different on both sides of Prince Edward Street, of Grey Street. Your side of Prince Edward Street, where it had the surgery, it had Hansas on the corner, it had the movie houses, it had Casbah Arcade, was totally different from the other side moving towards the railway line. To me, that side of the railway line reminded me, or that side of Prince Edward reminded me of India. The pigeons on Sunday morning. Remember the pigeons on there? They would feed the pigeons? And it had all those little shops where people would buy prayer goods and stuff like that.
Saris, prayer goods.
So Prince Edward Street was. Let's tell us a little bit about Foggy's Saloon. Snooker Saloon.
Yeah, there was a lane there, Foggy's Saloon. They used to have, there was a multiracial snooker club.
That's right.
And, they used to sell other things as well there, which was taboo at the time. But it was being sold under the table.
Yep, indeed. You know what was there before? You won't believe it. I've done some research in the 1940s, 30s and 40s in that saloon downstairs. It was a boxing gym. And it was operated by a white guy that produced a lot of the boxers used to be trained there. Seaman Chetty and all of these guys was there. There was a boxing gym in the 1930s and 40s. So there's a lot of history there. But Lights, do you know
also,
that...
Also, by the opposite way we stayed, there was a boxing gym there too, run by Fireworks Mohammed.
Exactly. Yes, that's right. The referee and the wrestler as well.
And after him, when he left the premises, the late Fatih Mutala ran a clothing wholesale company.
Okay, there you go. See, this comes right from the horse's mouth.
And we had the Bon Hyper that came across us as well into Failure House.
Yes, yeah. So, Lights, tell me, how many goals did you score in Prince Edward Street?
I would say one too many.
One too many.
And buddy, we had guys like Babu Jiwa, another elder called Pancho. They used to load us in the van and take us to King's Mead in the morning.
Sundays.
Then we should come back and have our road soccer. What we saw there, we tried to imitate over here.
Yeah, I used to watch you guys. I was there as well.
And you stopped the cars to take a penalty.
Yeah, indeed. Those were the days.
Only thing when the cops used to come, we had to run. Because they wanted to take the ball away. That was the only thing to take the ball away.
Absolutely.
And that time you should get a ball, white ball called Frito.
Frito.
That's right. Yep.
Frito, yeah.
The Frito ball. It was more brown. Yeah.
Stingers as well. They like stingers for a goalkeeper. Especially when you crack those shots and I got my hands on them stingers. Lights. You know what? Jazakallah khair for your memories. We're going to be calling you again.
You know, also in Prince Edward Street, we had a tea room as well, where Banker's Electrical is now, was Khan's tea room.
That's
and like I said on a previous program, we had Emma's just next to Hansa's as well, too.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Do you know
we had Raj Bioscope, my younger brother Skara, myself, a lot of us, we used to sell with that interval time, right? Coke, chocolate. And Cliff Richard came. They brought him through the side door. We ducked and sat on the stairs and watched him. You know, that in our younger days. We were fascinated in the 60s.
Yep, absolutely.
Lights across the road from the Raj. Do you remember Gina's Cafe?
Gino's,
yeah.
Gino's. That's right. Yes.
Gino's was an establishment buddy. In the front, they used to sell, like, say, cold drink and chocolates and things. But that wasn't the core business. The core business was in the back. They were the only guys, well, we knew at the time, they used to sell a special bait which was banned everywhere. And the white guys used to come with their boats and come by. And they had it chest in the fridges in the back over there, I remember.
I used to go there with my dad when I was a small
soccer
boy.
machine, you remember?
Yes. The soccer machine is very famous.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, Sega, late Sega was one of the masters.
Kings. That's why we call him King.
Yeah.
Lights, Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much again. We will call you.
Anytime, you're welcome.
Keep
up the good work, Faizal.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, there you go. That's really one of the sons of the Casbah Lights. Sayed from Prince Edward Street. But, you know, talking about shops and tea rooms, I think we need to say this because there's only one tea room still standing in the Casbah.
Yes, of course. That's our
over
Dinanas.
the decades and run by the same family, and that's Dinanas.
Yes.
And it's still there as well. So that was Brother Light Say It. We're going to be talking to Brother Ishan Blunden in a bit as well. I'd like to thank Cedric Sissings for putting the message out there tonight. A lot of people that are listening to the show tonight, probably for the first time. And God willing, you'll be joining us every Friday night. At 9 o'clock, we talk about the Casbah things on the show. But thank you very much, Cedric Sissings.
There's a message from Cedric as well.
Oh, is it?
Yep. It says they said that Cedric Sissing started at Adams and Griggs School booksellers in January 1977. I remember like yesterday buying a big snowball from Victory Lounge takeaway for my tea break. Most Adams and Griggs staff opened their first bank account at the NBS corner of Victoria Street and Albert Street.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Thank you. Good memory, Cedric.
Yeah, thank you, Cedric. Thank you very much, sir. You know, one thing that must be mentioned is that Albert Street. Albert Street was the boundary of the Indian CBD on one side only, not on the other side. So Light spoke about GC Shaves, and Cedric is talking about NBS.
Griggs,
now that side across the eastern side of Albert Street was white. The western side, where Avalon Albert was, Dreamland now,
the famous KG building,
that was the boundary of the non-white side. So it's very important to know that. You would see the shops across the road from there were
a bit smarter than
were
shops
smart.
on the side.
Exactly. Let's talk about Albert Street. Albert Street, Faizal, had a very business-like feel to it. Am I right?
Yes.
You know, the post office on the ground floor of Nedbank building on the corner of Queen and Albert.
Yes.
The NBS on the corner of Victoria and Albert. Shaves, wallpaper and paints on the corner of Prince Edward Street and Albert. Across from the road in Prince Edward Street
the
was
famous
Bolton Hall. Exactly.
Which
became Topaz Cinema. And then moving down towards Victoria Street, we had a few tailor shops, clothing shop, before you hit Avalon Tea Room, Mr. Sony on the corner. Across from the tea room was Victoria Furnishers.
Very popular, yes.
Around the corner was Albert Cinema. It wasn't Avalon Albert, it was Albert Cinema,
time,
which later became Avalon Albert Cinema. Heading up towards Queen Street was Basa's, where you could buy all your groceries and the beans that were all like in a sack in front of the counters.
Yes.
And on the corner of Queen Street was Baker Brothers.
It was
and
H.J.
across the
Mohammed.
road SJ Mohammed, sorry, and across the road was Oriental Bazaar,
Yeah.
a unique type of shopping center at that time.
Yes.
And that was Albert Street. So right now on the phone, we've got really a Casbah boy, Ishan Blunden. Good evening, Ishan. How are you, my brother?
Like a bro, and you?
Hey, I'm okay. You're probably sitting there and thinking, man, I know all these places these guys are talking about because you're the king of Casbah, man.
I'm not the king of
Tell
Casbah.
us, you got a link with Avalon Tea Room. Tell us a little bit about that, and tell us about Uncle Sony.
Okay, well, Uncle Sony was like a father to me. I grew up in his house. I lived in his house. And basically, I lived in Avalon Tea Room from, I can't remember. I was born in the Avalon Tea Room, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, of course.
That shop has a history like no other. You know, all the top, I wouldn't say businessmen as such, but people, the adults of Casbah, including people like Praveen Gordon and all these guys used to come there. So I got to know all of them. I got to know quite a bit of the business people there. Also, some of the big boys from Joburg, you know, the gangs and whatever have you. But a lot of things happened at Avalon.
Yep, indeed.
A lot.
Who was the fastest bottle top opener in the Casbah?
Oh yeah, he was the fastest bottle top opener.
Gulam.
Think of Gulam.
No, Uncle Sony.
Is it?
Oh, but Uncle Gulam was probably second. He was mentored by Uncle Sony.
Shame, Uncle Gulam was.
Yeah.
No, he, you know, with him, when I was like 3 years old on Sundays, he used to take me for a walk to the harbor and all these things.
Yeah.
He was like very close to me also growing up.
Ishan, you coming from the Casbah as well. You my partner on the Casbah. We write books and we're planning a book together at the moment. Tell us what do you feel the streets were? Why were they different? Because you obviously agree with me. Each street was totally different.
Yes, it's basically the people in the street as such. People in the street were like families to each other. You know, we used to like hide and smoke, but when your neighbor came past, you duck him because he can cut you.
And your parents wouldn't say anything.
Hey, sorry?
Your parents wouldn't say anything if the neighbor gave you a smack. It was fine.
What?
Yeah.
What? You'd clap us after that.
Yeah, indeed.
You know, so everybody looked after everybody. And people looked after each other, you know, especially in your own street.
Yes. Yeah.
But they all were very, very close with people in each street, right throughout Casbah.
Yeah. Ishan, tell us a little bit about the Warwick Avenue area, because I know you're also from Kaji Musa. We had Umar Basha ask me about Wills Road. Even those streets were slightly different. Well, not slightly, very different. Maybe tell us a little bit.
Different from the Casbah.
Yeah, but tell us a little bit about Kaji Musa building, maybe.
No, Kaji Musa building is also with the people that lived there, the mullahs, the Kaji. It was all mixed. So, you know, you had Muslim, Christian, Hindus, Tamilians, all living in the same flat.
Yeah.
You know, and it was, you were like the child of each flat.
Yes.
You know, it was something else in regards to the community and how the community looked after the kids and how they look after each other. Not to say there weren't fights amongst each other.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, but it was after the fight, after a couple of weeks, everybody was back together. It was completely different, the community as such.
Yeah.
But then, because of Warwick Avenue being Warwick Avenue, there was more gangsterism in that area than in the Casbah.
But obviously, it didn't really affect you. It never affected you. You were fine. We were fine walking there.
Yes.
You know, it wasn't like. Do you remember walking?
You had all the different gangs, buddy.
Yeah. Do you remember walking downstairs by Kaji Musa building past all those little shops, the fishing shop, the shoe shop? How did we take that for granted? Like that it'll be forever, hey? And it's gone, you know.
Yes.
That walking free.
Seriously. We used to walk through the shop to go to the flex to the back. We didn't take the entrance of the building. You know, and then also my thing was Khan Supermarket there.
Yeah.
And the famous Kilroy used to work there.
Oh, yes.
You know?
Yeah. Ishan.
So in that also... Sorry?
No, go ahead.
No, I said in that also... what I was going to say? Oh, in the back of Taji Musta, you had those flags right in the back, if you remember, buddy.
Yes.
All the colors used to look there.
Yes, that's right.
You know, and that it wasn't sort of a race thing also then. It was everybody lived
in
harmony.
Yeah, exactly. Across the road from you, in the road around the corner by Kaji Musa, I remember whose mother used to live in that big house.
Oh, you're talking about Auntie Boy's
Of course. Hey.
Auntie, what's the name?
Oh man, the best cook sisters, huh?
Oh, Hollywood talk.
But not only that, Ati Boy, what a legend. Faizal, do you remember him?
Yep.
What a legend in the Casbah too,
Absolutely,
eh?
yep.
Ishan used to worry him, man.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your family? What's your problem with you?
Ishan, tell us a little bit about the book. You putting together a book?
Well, you see, at the moment, there's a lot of books that are coming out with basically talking about history and talking about this and about that. What we have got now, what we're coming out, is a coffee table book with photographs from Derby Street to Pine Street.
Excellent.
From Field Street. Basically, I think it's up to the Casbah.
Warwick
Avenue.
Yeah, Warwick Avenue. Yeah.
But not including Warwick Avenue, up to the graveyard side.
Yeah.
Because there's another book going to come out with the Warwick Avenue itself.
And we got tons of photos.
How many hundreds of photographs?
Tons, Faizal, tons of photographs never ever seen.
We look forward to the book.
Unbelievable. So we're busy putting that together, Ishan and myself.
Faizal, you're talking about Victoria Furniture Mart. We got photos of Victoria Furniture Mart.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
We even got some photographs of shops in Victoria Springs. About 1948.
We bring back top memories.
Yeah. Faizal, we got a photograph of Shah Jahan when there was a cottage on there with trees and a garden.
Okay, I
Can
remember.
you believe that?
Yep,
Shah Jahan. Well, Ishan, we'll certainly talk to you again moving forward in the next couple of weeks. But thank you very much for sharing with us today. And we look forward to chatting to you again. You take it easy and good night. Eh?
You take it easy too.
Okay, thanks.
Bye, Faizal.
Sure. Bye. Okay, buddy, there's lots of WhatsApp messages come through.
Tonight's really buzzing. Let's go for a
read? Okay.
Yeah.
There's a message that comes from Fozia Amuji. She says, what about Dave's Motor Spares in the Casbah, corner of Prince Edward Street?
Yes.
My father, Dave Dawood Amuji, opposite Shaves. Buddy knows my brother, Muhammad Amuji.
Muhammad and I are still very much in touch. An ex-Sastry boy as well. I meet him. I'm meeting him actually next week.
Okay.
But Dave's was an institution. I mean, absolutely. How can you forget? I can even see that sign, Dave's, with that little arrow there.
Yep. Read this one.
It says, Assalams, I lived in Prince Edward Street for 41 years from 1984 till 6th October 2025, when I finally moved out to Aliwal Street, where you feel like you're living in another city. Indeed. There you go. That says it all. MK Mohammed, brother MK says, Carlisle Street and Lawn Street were in close proximity to the world famous Greyville Racecourse and the famous block AK of Greyville, which was demolished under the Draconian Group Areas Act. Both these streets at the end of the Durban CBD held a serene and peaceful nature with their tree-lined streets and almost rural atmosphere. A very outstanding feature of these two roads was that they were away from the buzz and business of the CBD, not to mention the stately and solid homes that graced both these streets and the surroundings nearby. As a young lad of about 10 years old, I lived in Carlisle Street in the early 60s to the early 70s, and it left me with a lasting impression of my childhood days.
Sorry, buddy.
No, it's fine. What a lovely message this is. And he goes on to say that the streets were brimming with children of almost similar ages, most of whom were in their 70s now, and some are no more. Indeed, it was more or less a cultural hub with churches, wedding halls, schools, famous cinemas, which were branded as the showplace of the nation, which hosted international artists. A little park nearby where the youngsters could go and play football. In comparison to other streets in the Casbah, it was laid back. Indeed, Faizal, in fact, what he's saying here is exactly what I was saying. The Carlisle Street area, tree-lined, really was totally different. So that's a really lovely message there. And I certainly would agree, because I wrote this here about Carlisle Street.
In fact, that message comes from Brother Khalil Muhammad.
Oh, Brother
I'm
Khalil.
just going to complete that message.
Yes,
if you don't
go
mind.
ahead.
Being at the tail end of town, it was a refuge for many people who decided to go to the nearby racecourse or make their way to the football fields attached to the schools nearby. It was indeed a childhood memory palace. Alas, today, with time, all of this glory has either disappeared or deteriorated. The peace and the serenity is now overtaken by grime and crime. Unfortunately, not to forget Derby Street, Louis Lane, and Mitchell Road, also the quieter zones from Khalil Muhammad. Thank you for that.
That's a lovely message, Brother Khalil Muhammad, indeed. And I wrote something similar. I said another completely different feel and look to any other street in the Casbah was Carlisle Street. Facing the racecourse on the right, you had a couple cottages, and across a row of 3 or 4 story quaint residential buildings with the Bethesda Church and the Hindu temple sandwiched in between. Across the road from the corner of Albert Street was very cool.
Very cool.
This part of Carlisle Street was always nice and peaceful. So that goes exactly with what the brother was saying. I said, turning into Carlisle Street, moving towards the schools, we had the clothing factory on the one side, and across the road we have the African Women's Hostel that hugged the corner. We had Rani's Cafe, school supply stores, then Hindu Tamil School with the church across the road. Then across the road from that was Girls High and St. Anthony's School, and on the other side was the municipal bus depot, which completed the makeup of Carlisle Street.
Absolutely. Very well put. Now, I'm just going to see what you said about Lawn Street. Again, low-rise residential buildings on one side and the iconic Shah Jahan on the corner with Grey Street. Towards Albert Street, numerous little businesses, car battery places, butcher shops, Eastern dry cleaners, and the Natal Indian Blind Society buildings, amongst other commercial enterprises.
Indeed. And Lawn Street, you would find children used to play on the streets. Today, there's no street. There's cars are double parked because of the hospital area. So that was not really well planned in terms of the size of the road and the land uses.
Brother Ashad Khan Carlisle Street says, shout out to all the Himalaya House boys.
Oh, absolutely. I stayed in Himalaya House from, I think, 1 or 2 years, and left just before the fire. There was a fire in Himalaya House. Faizal, Cross Street. Let's move into that particular area. Cross Street and Short Street.
Yes.
So for me, as I said, I wrote this, came out. When I'm in Cross Street, it's as if I'm transported into Bombay, or Mumbai, as they now call it in Grey Street.
But Cross in those days, it was Bombay. Yes.
Cross Street had that feeling of being in Bombay back in the day. Sari shops selling all sorts of household utensils. Remember, you could buy forks, knives, spoons, big Kurbani knives. And then he had a shop with buttons and fabrics.
Yes.
This was the Mumbai of Durban.
Yep, it was.
Short Street, on the other hand, was totally different. In fact, Short Street still has one of the last of the Casbah cottages.
Yes.
It's still there. St. Aidan's Hall used to be across in Short Street as well. It's now vacant lot that's been used as a car park. And yet small-scale residential buildings and families are still living in them today.
Yep.
The dead end at the railway line, my granny used to live there on the first floor. So I have fond memories of playing on that veranda. And, all the people living as well. Faisal, different religions, believe me.
Yes.
And full of respect and assistance with each other, regardless, was what we got from there.
Yep.
And that was the Casbah, really. So we've got a lot of messages coming up.
It's another message come through, says, Salams everybody. Lights forgot to mention Taj Company. I mentioned that. And Ratilal for pots and pans. Hafizi's crockery shop. The tent shop. Surah Hindu School. Corner CNR house, which housed the Legal Eagles, Srimati Sari house. The parking lot behind New Shop. That the tobacco house people. Yes, enjoying the program from Aisha. What about Beer Street, the Himalaya Hotel, Art Stationers, Sony's building, the Timors, the Meta family, YMCA, the clinic, etc. Memories are pouring in here.
There you
brother.
go. So there you go. You see that? And I'm sure there's so many of you sitting out there with a smile on your face. If we could just do that, Faizal, alhamdulillah, we've done well.
Yep.
And for all of you that don't listen to the show on the normal, remember every Monday, inshallah, God willing, 9 o'clock is Echoes of the Casbah. And we talk about all these things.
Every Friday.
Exactly. I've got a poem that I've done, Faizal. I want to read this poem. So let's listen up to this. I said, the Casbah was not zoned. It was woven, a tapestry of commercial and tradition, stitched with prayer mats and spice sacks, ledger books and laughter. Grey Street bore the weight of worship and wisdom, where minarets rose beside fabric shop windows and the scents of spices mingled with the call to prayer or the ringing of church bells. Lipo Street cradled the herbalist and the healers, where remedies were whispered, not prescribed, and every scoop of spice carried a grandmother's memory. Grey Street shimmered with style, saris in the windows, scissors at Mona Lisa in motion, swagger stitched into every hem. Prince Edward Street, that pulsed with rhythm, takeaways, cafes, the Raj Cinema in every footstep. Victoria Street moved like the tide, its market stalls shifting with the seasons, its traders fluent in various languages of trust. Lani, I'm giving you the best price here. The Casbah ambience was not designed, it was lived. A place where land use defied the grids and community shaped the land.
Message from Sarah Bibi Mustafa. Excellent poem, buddy. Well done.
Thank you, Faizal.
Says, Assalamu alaikum, buddy bye and Faizal bye. What about May Street? My Nana and Nani were living in May Street, and I didn't say my something was born in May Street, and she went to the M.A. Motala school. Do you remember that school?
No, I don't. My mum was born in May Street.
Okay.
And she often spoke about living in May Street. And the one thing that people will tell you about that particular area, as with all the other areas, Faizal, it was one family.
It was.
Regardless.
Yep.
Everybody, Monday, inshallah, is Eid. I mean, Diwali, sorry. Everybody celebrated Diwali. Eid Day, everybody celebrated Eid. Our Hindu families, our Tamil neighbors, everybody was there wishing each other, sharing. So definitely, you know, we really, really, really did well. We're speaking about all the streets. We're speaking about how different they were. And, you know, it's really resonating with everybody. Let's move to Beater Street, Faizal.
Okay.
Because Beater Street was the bus hub of the Casbah.
Yes.
Heading north, this was the only bus rank out of town after you came from the one by Centenary Road.
Yeah.
Buses lined up along the curb of Beater Street with passengers pushing their way to get on.
Yes.
The YMCA that catered predominantly for the African folk in the Casbah, which was adjacent to the Beater Street Clinic.
Yep.
It's still there today, both those buildings.
Yeah.
On the western part of Beater Street was blocks of flats alongside the Himalaya Hotel, and at the other end was the Durban Corporation bus depot. The African Church, in fact, there were two buildings, were there, broken down now. There's a parking building for the Medi Center that stands there now. Beater Street also had a different vibe. From on the first floor of some of the buildings on Beater Street, there were factories, clothing factories. So, you know, that had a totally different vibe from all the other streets as well. I left Queen Street, Faizal. You're going to read Queen Street. I don't want to.
Yeah, in fact, I was born in Queen Street.
Exactly.
But a message from Asad Akbar says, Salams, hope you're well. DJ, I remember Wheel in town. Now not the same. I remember really. Enjoy your show. This message comes from Mohammed from Reservoir Hills, Durban. Thank you, brother Mohammed. Queen Street.
Yes.
From high-rising apartment blocks to timber shops to cosmetic shops to the Barclays Bank to the A.V. Mohammed shop, the Hawk's Nest tea rooms, at one time the largest mosque in the Southern Hemisphere, to the Gandhi Library, to the top market and graveyard, Queen Street had it all. Queen Street pulsed with confidence. It was where every shop told his story.
Exactly. Wasn't that spot on, Faizal?
It was spot on,
Absolutely. Hawk's Nest, remember that?
Very well.
Hey,
Very
remember
well.
the
It was
uncle
Jasmine's
from there?
before.
Yes, the uncle from there and his son, A.V. Muhammad. What an institution.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
An institution. You know, I think, Faizal, or maybe I know, and I think you would know, that if you really needed something and you didn't have enough, you were never turned away.
Definitely. Nobody was turned away.
Am I right?
Yes.
You were never turned away.
Nobody's turned away.
If you didn't have enough, and then if you asked them how much, and they said it was, let's say, 2 rand, and you looked at your money and you were like, oh man, I'm like 1 rand 50, 1 rand 80. It was like, okay, never mind. You know, there was such this camaraderie, a familyness of where we were in there. And that was Queen Street for me. Good Hope Center, where we lived all our lives. Faizal, you played there as well. We've got such great memory. Frank Hay sends a message.
Go for it, buddy.
It says, salams to all at Radio Al Ansar. Good discussion, brother buddy Govender. I boarded in Beater Street's Vauji's building for a short while in 1975-76. Those days we dressed up American, turn-ups, slip-on Bostonian shoes, L. Parker jerseys. Frank from Pietermaritzburg. Yep, I must have walked past you a few times. Oh, sorry, let me rephrase that, Frank. I must have swanked past you a few times. Oh,
you had your Bostonians on at that time.
Your Bostonians, your McIvers, come on. Eh?
Yes,
that was the life. Thank you very much for that one, Frank.
Another message comes that says, I should play Pac-Man at Hawks. Best for 20 cents a game.
Of course, Pac-Man.
Yep.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
So you know, again, we could sit here for another 2 hours, Faizal, and chat about. We've got messages coming in,
pouring in.
I have messages on my phone. You know, walking from Himalaya House to Good Hope Center with my sister Nadira Khan and her husband Shah Khan. We would walk on a Saturday afternoon, Faizal, sometimes 6 o'clock.
Yes.
And we had such good fun walking. Yes, you had to watch out for the odd pickpockets.
Yep.
But oh man, it was just something else. Cedric says the poem that I read, could I please WhatsApp it to him? And he says a huge thank you for the shout out and to Faizal for reading his WhatsApp as well. Thank you, Faizal. Cedric, we hope that you would obviously join us on a Friday. Indeed. Lots of messages. Sister Casbah says, well penned, buddy. You definitely a literary pro. No, we're not. We try. We from town, man. Brother Shane from Short Street. So when I said I got a history in Short Street, it was with Shane. He says, as you know, Short Street, especially at the dead end, is the only street with residential buildings literally on the railway lines. So close that the vibrations of the train passing would cause our windows to vibrate. We would wait for the goods train carrying sugar cane to shunt so that the cane would fall off, and as little boys we would skid down the banks and collect whatever fell off. Short Street had a hall, St. Aidan's that was, where the parking lot is, and was well known for hosting functions and dancing lessons and weddings and other entertainment. There was also, Faizal, the Raj Kumar's Undertakers. I used to be frightened walking past there. And they were notorious people who hung around. Fortunately, they didn't harm anyone in their so-called territory. The good old days of fun, laughter, togetherness, and happy memories. Indeed, Faizal, they were. Shane, that was so well scripted, my brother. I was there, so I definitely know. Well, here comes another message from Kamlesh Naran. Thank you very much, Kamlesh, for messages. Great show, buddy. So nostalgic to reminisce about the Casbah. Keep it rolling, but Kamlesh, thank you very, very much for listening in as well for that one there. Really appreciate it. And Brother Light Sayed sent me a message and says, did you know that Ishan's brother Ishan Blunden's father and his father-in-law were brothers? I didn't know that, but I do know.
And Light's father-in-law?
Yes, I do know Light's father. I do remember Light's father-in-law very, very well. A gentleman indeed. And I never met Ishan's father. Passed away well before us. But Faizal, Ishan's father was a top footballer.
Okay.
Top footballer in the Casbah. He played for Young Aces. And you know, those days, if you played for Young Aces,
you were a star.
You were a star.
Absolutely.
Indeed. So Ishan's father was definitely one of those. My sister-in-law, Asma, that's right, Asma. Asma Rahman, many of you would know her father, Mr. Rahman, the
famous,
Ustad at Anjuman. She says, buddy, I love the show. Not forgetting Leopold Street, the good old days, and her father. She says, my dad, Abdul Rahman. Hey, we love the evening walks with our friends, with my sister Hafsa and Farana, and myself, Asma. Yes, you mentioned Bajjas from Patel, one of the best. Love and duas from your family, buddy. And that comes from my dear sister, Asma. Thank you very much for that, Asma.
Excellent.
Faizal, you know what? I promise you, I have tears in my eyes.
Yes, I'm sure you
I
do.
really do. I must tell the listeners out there, I'm sitting here, and when I talk about the Casbah, I really have tears in my eyes.
You relive that whole era.
You know, we can't believe it.
And what the things that I go through is lots of people that my friends, family, etc., who were with me, they are no longer here today. So those memories come flooding back as well.
May Allah grant them the highest status in Jannah. Ameen. Allah bless all those people that are no longer with us. We're going to close off the show, Faizal.
Two very quick messages. Rashid says that pickpockets really got away. That's correct.
Yes.
And Sarah Bibi Musa says that she gives us the whole history that they lived in Amgeni Road. My uncle and aunt lived in Kala Street. My uncle worked for A.V. Muhammad. My mommy lived in May Street, was born in May Street. My papa had a cafe in Top Market. So lots of history that comes up there. But buddy, you know what happens? I always say this at the end of every show. When you're having fun, time flies.
Faizal, you know what? Let's tell our listeners out there. Today's part one. Next Friday, God willing, we're going to continue. Because I think we got lots to talk about here. We're going to be calling a lot of people as well. So if you want to get on the show, message us, message me. I'll give you some of the numbers. But to end off, Faizal, I said in the beginning, to appreciate where we are now, we must know and appreciate where we've come from. We're not just reminiscing on the past. We've moved ahead, but we want to make sure that we give gratitude to where we've come from.
Absolutely.
We've come from humble beginnings. All these streets, all of them made us who we are today. And I hope tonight, we brought a tear to your eye, a smile to your face, and alhamdulillah, beautiful memories of people that may no longer be with us or in our lives today. As we said, may Allah grant them all the highest status in Jannah. Ameen. And that's it for this evening's walk through the Casbah.
Okay. Just one more message I'm going to read.
Yes, please.
Thank you, guys. Beautiful show. And lovely memories, with lovely memories. Thank you as well. Shukran for that.
And then Rihanna Banu.
Oh, yes.
I don't know what she says.
Okay, but we'll yes, of course.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you very much. We've got a few messages coming here on the Instagram and from Zarina Godan. Salams. What about Hansa Soul and Hansa Takeaway? So, Sister Zarina, you did not listen to the show before. We had the son of Hansa's, Mr. Ahmed Hansa, on the show a few weeks ago. And we'll bring them back again. But we did not forget anybody. Thank you very much for joining on that one and sending that message as well. Faizal, as I said, let's. I'm going to give out my details.
Yes, go for it.
We work with Casbah. Ishan Blunden and I document the Casbah. We have a Casbah Facebook page. Guys, if you don't know about that now, where have you been? Because it is got millions of people from around the world that are on it. So please get onto Facebook. It's called Grace Street Casbah and Surrounds. Grace Street Casbah and Surround Facebook. Send us a friend request and we'll certainly put you on the group. You will just go crazy with the photos and the stories there. Faizal, I said part one tonight. Inshallah, part two next week. So please don't despair out there. Do join us.
If not next week, then the following week.
The following week.
Because I think there's an outdoor broadcast next week.
Okay, so
that's being planned. So
let's hope we can maybe reschedule the show.
Yes, maybe.
Okay, it's that important, I think. You know.
But we will advertise it.
Yes,
on the Facebook group as well as otherwise.
Indeed. And yes, thank you for joining us this evening as we walk through the Casbah. We've heard how each street had its own flavor, its own story, but how together they made something bigger than the sum of their parts. That's the kind of unity we need today, Faizal, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Well, now it's your turn. What's your Casbah memories? Do you have any photos of your family functions, your flats, your homes? Share them with us, as we will include them in the upcoming book that my Casbah partner, Sean Blunden, and I are writing. Join our Grace Street Casbah Facebook page, and you will be stunned by the amount of historical photos and people that are on worldwide. My personal WhatsApp number, I'm going to give it to you, so please do write this down. I'll give you my WhatsApp number and my email address. My WhatsApp number is 083-560-1213. One more time, my mobile 083-560-1213. My email address is buddy@eastcoast.co.za. BUDDY at eastcoast.co.za. Faizal, I'm sure you've enjoyed that just as much as I did.
Yes, of course. I have.
Walking through that there.
I'm sure brother
Great memories.
Brother AK Muhammad is wondering what's happening to his show, but that's coming up next, inshallah. We've borrowed 10 or 15 minutes from him. But yes, you will be listening to Ikra Wafam, that's the tafsir of the Holy Quran, inshallah ta'ala, with brother AK Muhammad and his alim that he's going to be using for the tafsir. Time for us to bid you farewell, and we thank you for joining us, and thank you for all the beautiful messages that came through. Remember, keep it rolling on the Casbah show.
Indeed. Until next time, inshallah, keep walking with the Casbah humbleness and pride, and please do keep the stories alive.
Absolutely. I'll be back with you in the morning at 8 o'clock on Rise and Shine. So till then, from myself, Faizal, MJ Suleman, and
Buddy Govender, you can join me tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Kick off right here on Al Ansar.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
He's the one who catches when you fall. Now I want